Hello and welcome to part 6 of the Baloon series, and today we hopefully finish the scene. So we got the final render, but I think we can start. So you see this is the setup we had the last time, or at least I hope it is the setup we had the last time, because I recorded this part already, but I messed up with my recordings and I made a mistake, and I fixed this mistake while recording, and then I forgot to press the record button again. So hopefully now I have the same setup. So I deleted everything we hadn't before, and then it should work. So first we're gonna do the particle setup, and then we do a little bit of compositing. But first we have to make a group, and the reason why we have to do this is because I haven't found a solution for that I want to make. But first I want to show you how it would look without this group, so just with this one balloon. So hopefully you aren't confused what I said now, but you will see it, what I do. And I will enable the screencast keys, and also make the view a little bit bigger. So I want to add in a cube, and go to the edit mode, and I want to adjust these corner points to be about out of the view of the camera, so it's a little bit outside. And actually I forget this each time. I want to move them here in front of the camera, so quite close. Maybe that's too close, but yeah, somewhere like here. And now adjust them, and this is going to be our object in that the particles will emit. So this is kind of a domain like in the smoke, of our smoke simulation. So I want to move these back, or this back face here, just a little bit behind our last image plane, and then I want to adjust this too. And actually, yeah, that works. This doesn't have to be perfect, but just a little bit out of the view. And now you see we get this kind of extension of the camera. And I think I want to move the camera just a little bit more upwards. But actually, now I let it in the position like it is, because then I would have to adjust all these images because of the perspective shift. Or actually, yeah, I let the camera at it like it is, and you can do the final tweak to that. So now I have this basic domain for my particles. Of course, it's just a simple pyramid-like form. And now I want to add in a new particle system. I just want to have 170 particles, and I want to emit them at the first frame. So when let's see, when I emit them, you see I just have a few, and they all emit at the first frame. I want to emit them in the volume, because in that object it's where I want to see them, because outside I don't have any need for that, because the camera don't see it. And I want to distribute them random. So I want to turn off the normal, so that don't get any movement from the face normal from that they emit. You see, it looks a little bit strange, whatever that is, but we will see that. And you can turn off the physics, and then they don't want to move, or they don't move. So I want to set the lifetime just higher so they stay in place. And if you don't want to turn off the physics, you simply can turn on any physics you want and turn off the gravity, for example, because then they are behave like they have no physics applied to it. So let's see, and now I'll show you what I said before. So we have now an object. For that we want to render each particle. I can select my balloon, and you see the balloons are here. That looks nice, or fine for now. But if I would render that, it would look crazy, because we have to turn off the emitter, so it don't render this cube we used as our train object. But when I render this now, you see all balloons point in the same direction, and we don't see the Blender logo. Of course, I could rotate it so the Blender logo would point straight to the camera, but that would look really unnatural. So to change that, you could try to use this rotation randomness, but this doesn't work. I tried it quite a few times, but this didn't work. But before I want to do this, I want to see my balloons, but when I go into the material, into material shading, I just see this cube, and I have a little trick for that. I apply to this cube a simple material I had for the image planes we used, and now we don't see it, or see the object, the cube, because now it's transparent. So that's a little nice trick, I think. So we can set the timeline back here. So yeah, when I enable now the random rotation, random, and re-simulate them, you see this looks like there's wind or so, and they would fall down on the ground, and yeah, that doesn't look really natural. Maybe for you, but I don't think so. So, and even if I choose random here, I think that doesn't work. Yeah, because we don't simulate it in any way. You see, this doesn't change anything. Maybe you know a way, but I don't know one to make it with these settings. So I came up with the solution to simply duplicate it, and G and X direction, and I duplicated it with Alt D. Hopefully I made that, and I want to remove it from this group. So I select the object and press Alt D and G and X direction, and just leave a little gap in between. Now I'll repeat this quite a few times. Yeah, that should work, and I rotate each one 20 degrees more than the one before, and actually Control C, we set it to 0 and this here as well, and now I want to type in 20, 40 and so on. So I will type that in, and then I will be back. So now the last one, 340, 340 or 340 degrees, because we don't need a 360 because that would be equal the first one. So delete the one we made to, or we duplicated, and these are now, let's see, 19 objects, and we can apply them to a new group. Select all and press Ctrl and G and name the group subsurf. Because what I want to do to this group is I want to apply a subsurf modifier, and these are going to be our detailed balloons that are in the foreground and really close to the camera. So I can apply subsurf with Ctrl and 1 and select one of them and set the render to 1, and now press Ctrl and N, add modifier, and now all have the render level at 1. Because if we would have a render level of 2, it would calculate so slow, and it looks at the render level of 1 also, yeah, fine for that what I need. So now I select all these again and press Ctrl and D and G and Y and just move them in this direction. It's important that you now press Ctrl and D instead of Alt and D, because I don't want to link these together. So I select one of these balloons, remove the subsurf modifier, and press Ctrl and N and copy the modifier. So, and because these all are a group, when I change one, all of these change too. And here it's the same. It's just much slower because we have a subdivision surface applied. Control C. But you see here it's really quick, and also it's quite a fun effect with the rotation. So if you would do something like that, quite funny to play with. But of course you don't want to play with that. It makes some sense what we do, hopefully. And for that I go to the add mode now and select all vertices with A and Control and V and remove the doubles, because we had applied actually see mesh line. Turn this element really quick off so you see how many doubles removed. Mesh, let's see, yeah, it doesn't matter. So we removed quite some double vertices that overlay, because when we applied the edge split modifier, it splitted that phase loop right up here, for example, in one separate part. So it would be something like, yeah, something like that. Just this one and separated from the other ones. So it wouldn't be one part like it is right now. So, but because these are our low poly ones, kind of, I want to remove these rings or spirals right up here, and also these two, and I think I want to remove these as well. So now we have quite right now we already deleted a quite big amount of unnecessary details. That saves us quite some render time. And actually I think we can delete these pipes or whatever that is. as well, because you don't see it from this distance. I mean, you see it, but it isn't something like that is very important in the silhouette. And when we remove the doubles and deleted the unnecessary parts, we can add an decimate modifier and turn this value down to, or actually, let's see, I wanna add this to a group and select this group and only remove from here until we get a nice clean mesh, but I don't want to have these mistakes, so leave as much geometry as we need. Oh, modifiers cannot be applied to multi-user data. This is because I duplicated these with Alt and D, and all these use now the same object data or mesh data, because when I change this one, these change as well, because all these use the same data for the geometry. But if I would apply now this modifier, this would change, but these don't have this modifier applied to it. And that actually would deform this one, but these not, but these share the same mesh data, so it would have the same mesh data, but this would be different, so this doesn't work, as you may think. So what I do is I first apply the second modifier I want to have, and this is a second decimate modifier, and I want to have this group again, but this time I want to have it inverted. So I only affect this one, because this one down here needs another value than the part up here. So actually maybe I just wanna remove some details manually, because that gives me nicer results. But let me think. I think I want to assign this one with Control G to a new group and add a decimate modifier right in here, and remove that just a little bit. And here I want to tweak it manually. So delete every second loop, and I'm gonna go into the local view with numpad slash. So I only have this object here, and I want to remove every second loop. And this one right in here, no. This one, no. Still the wrong one. Yeah, now remove these edge loops, and the same right up here. And so we make sure that we don't have unnecessary details in our object. Whoops. Because when you spend some more time here to remove unnecessary details that will affect your render time really much. Yeah, so you don't have to watch doing me the same thing again and again. I will skip this, and when I removed everything I don't need, I will be back. So see you there. So now I'm back. I just want to show you real quick the method I use here, because we applied a solidify modifier. We have this intersection here, we also don't need, and also causes some errors with the decimate modifier. And what I did is I selected this basket down here with L, and pressed Shift and H to hide everything else. And now I select this loop up here and delete the vertices. And now I can simply select this inner part and delete it as well. And now we have just the outline. And now it's just a decimate modifier. And yeah, that should work. Maybe even more. Yeah. Should I remove them by hand? No. So now we have that. And adjust this here. Yeah, so I think I will leave these values as they are. Yeah, that should work. And now leave the local view by number slash again. And you see we have, or actually first apply the modifiers, and for that I want to select these ones and press Ctrl Alt and G and remove them from the group subsurf. And now I want to add them to a new group, so press Ctrl and G and add low, for example, for low poly. And now I want to select this balloon here. I press Ctrl N and modifiers again. And something looks... Oh, these don't have these vertex groups. But these are in the object data. So it looks like the balloons don't copy the vertex group, which is a little bit weird because it would copy everything else from here, because all these use the same. But it looks for me like I have to duplicate them again because they don't copy the same vertex group. But let me try something really quick. Control N, and is there something like a group transfer? No, I don't think so. Animation data. No. So I think the only chance to get this to work is by deleting these and make sure we have everything like we would have it in the final mesh. We'll recalculate the normals and then apply these two modifiers and duplicate them again. So I will pause that as well, and then I rotate them in 20 degree steps, but for me it's a little bit weird that the vertex groups aren't copied. So what you could do is, before you duplicate this balloon here, you could assign these two vertex groups already. So you can select this one, assign it to new, you could name it, and this one, and then duplicate it with Alt D and then Shift D, the second row, and then you would, then you don't have to duplicate everything here again. So I applied the modifier and now I'm gonna duplicate this again. So yeah, I will be back, but Alt D, Alt D, yeah, Alt D. So I duplicated all of them, and actually I noticed that I made a mistake in the first row, and it was that I had 140, 150 and 160 instead of 140 and 160. So you just need 18 objects. I had before 19 in one row of balloons, but now these are assigned to the group low and these are to the subsurf. And now you see the logo should be rotated 20 degrees each time, and that looks fine. And now we can use it as an actual particle system, and you see it's quite slow. First I want to compare how many vortices we saved. So you'll see we have let's see, 940, and here we have 6,725. So we saved 600 vertices, and this is 6,000 vertices. And when you render that, that makes a huge difference in the render time. So, but first I want to select this particle object here and turn it off really quick, so it's a little bit faster. So now we have our particle object, but to separate where we want to have the high resolution ones and the low resolution ones, I go into the add mode and add a loop right in, let's see, the camera. Oh, here's the camera, and then the high resolution ones should end somewhere like here. So now select this, press V for rip, and just move it a little bit back and fill it, and the other one as well, and press P selection. Then you want to click on this little 2 here to make its own settings, and I just want to have, I think, 30 particles right in here, and then it's 140 back in here. And we want to select a group, and we want to have low, and here we want to have a group, and it's called subsurf. Yeah, now we can enable the particles again. And what's that? Actually, let's see. Oh, I have to recalculate them, I think. Yeah, because now they are in the front and in the back. And we should get some... Oh, I forget the step each time. And you have to select all objects here and press Ctrl and A and rotation, but this will get an error because I duplicated these with Alt and D. These share the same data again, and this is different from this because this is rotated, like I explained before. But what you can do is go to Object and make single user, or simply press U and say make single user for object and data. And now you see each balloon has its own set of data here. Now you can select all of them and press Ctrl A, rotation. Now it will be at 0, the rotation, as you see. And now they should be rotated differently. When we re-simulate that, go to frame back, plate back, and you see they are rotated randomly. So select the particle system here and go to the group and say use count, because we want to have some more particles that point straight to the camera with the logo. And for that, simply try which one is the right one, and maybe try one here. And this one was the right one. Yeah, that was the right one. So set that to 3 also, maybe a little bit higher. And you see now the chance is better that they point straight to the camera. I want to change the seat here so they are added a little bit differently, and I want to change this number, or I want to decrease this number, maybe 20, and also I want to change the size of the particles, and this is under physics, so it's a little bit too small for 0.0002 maybe, and for the back ones as well, but actually select them 0.02, and now it looks a little bit more realistic from the scale. But maybe it's too small. 0.03. And these ones as well. Alt C for the shaded mode. No. So now I think the particle setup works quite fine, but still I wanna have some more pointing into the direction of the camera, and here in the back as well. Use count, and actually let's see, this was balloon 10, and let's see which one is 10, 05, 07, 10, and then it's actually, I think, 27 or so. Now select the particle system in the back here and search for 27 and go to material view and change that to 3 or so. But I think this was the wrong one. So maybe... no. Actually... maybe even higher. Yeah, that... I think we're getting closer, but... yeah, I think I will leave it as the default and set this back to 1. But I think, yeah, this one, maybe. So set this to maybe 7 or so. So now we have that, and now we wanna make the render setup. We have the light already, and I wanna add in an empty, but first I wanna set the cursor to the camera position and add in an empty plane axis and set it to about here. So it doesn't matter really where the location of the empty is, but somewhere around here. And from the previous recording I had already the empty loaded in, and this is the empty 001 and 001. Actually, let's see where the first empty is, because I should have deleted it already, and save. And the empty, search for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter really because you don't see it in the render, so it doesn't matter when it's in the scene. So let's see, the focus is on the empty 001, and normally the parses are like this, I think, and you should turn on mist as well. So render this, and then we can start the compositing, hopefully. So you see it rendered, and we have some little problems with the plane here because we scaled it a little bit too small, and also some balloons collide in here. I think it's the reason, or maybe there's a half transparent image plane, but you can fix that. I don't have the time for that now, because I want to finish that in this part. And now I come to the compositor with Shift F3, and you can fix that easily by change the random seed so it adds in the balloons a little bit differently, and then it should be fixed. So yeah, so now I go to render nodes here in the node editor. You can find or him here. I go to render nodes and say use nodes and backdrop and maximize the view, and add in a viewer with Control Shift and left click, I think. Yeah, and you see the different buses. You don't see anything on the set or C bars because the values are way over 1. You see 3 down here. You see 3 and even more, I think. Yeah, so about 3. And if you add in an converter, I think, no, vector normalize, you can see the set path as well. And here's the mist path. So I want to use these as vectors to add in some color, like the atmospheric, or like the atmosphere would add in this little blue in the back, like you see in our original image too. You see the mountains are a little bit blue because of the water in the air and so. And for that I add in a color and mix node, and I wanna multiply the C path and the mist path, and actually view that. And yeah, I just duplicate or multiply them because I think it gets, or it gives me a little bit nicer result. So I use this as a vector and set this to blue, bluish color actually. But I wanna view the set bars really quick and add in a color ramp or converter ramp, color ramp, and just turn these settings down or up, no down. This one I think. So I should get some more details. Actually, let me see really quick. Oh, I think it's because I set the empty in a quite close distance. Yeah. But it doesn't matter because we have the mist path as well. And yeah, I want to use that. And then set this to screen, I think. And set it a little bit darker. And now add this one and use the mist bars. And add in some more blue. And yeah, I just repeated this process some more times. Maybe add it and set it a little bit brighter. And yeah, tweak all this stuff a little bit. And then add a final, let's see, color bands. And just adjust it until you think it looks better than before. So add in a little bit of this blue, so we get this atmospheric effect, but also some red maybe. So you see now it looks quite unrealistic, but just a little bit of this red and blue. So I think I want to add more of this blue. But you see, you have to tweak that quite a few times. Yeah, so you can mute that with M and compare it with the first one, and I think I have a little bit too much red, and set this down. And then you have your final image. So I think I will have a look at the final scene again, So you can see what I made there actually. As you see, I multiplied the two passes, added in a color ramp, and set this down just a little bit. Edit or screen it, edit, and make some adjustments of the RGB curves, and then the color ramp, or the color balance, sorry. So that is it. I hope you like the final image we made. Hopefully you learned some useful techniques or workflow workflow techniques and modeling and shading, hopefully. And if you like this series, write in the comments or give me a thumb up. And for more videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope I see you in my next video. And bye until that, and happy blending. Bye.